I wanted to share something that's really shifted the way I view the world. So, something that I heard years ago was that we all have God's spark within us, like a spark of God. We're all a spark of God. So the idea is that God, or the higher power, whatever you call your God, whatever you call the higher power, creator, if you believe in that, um, there's a spark of our creator within each of us. And the idea behind it is that God can't come down to earth to have a human experience. So God is experiencing what it is to be human through each of us. And it totally shifted my perspective to hear that many years ago. And there have been a lot of things in my life that I've heard and that resonated with me. Like I could just feel it inside of me that it was my truth, that it is my truth. And that was one that really hit deep. And that was one that brought me some peace in the moment. And it just gave me such a beautiful perspective, because when I walk around seeing everything, seeing everyone as a spark of God, I see them in a whole new light. It's so much easier to see the light in the beings around me when I consciously choose to remember that we are all a spark of God, and that we all have that light within us. There's things that I've learned. I feel like I started to say this and then I got sidetracked. My brain is really squirrely. There's a lot of input coming in. I decided to leave the house for the first time today and go for a walk, and it's like the creative just unleashed, and there's all these thoughts and ideas and just inspiration coming through. So bear with me, because my mind is quite squirrely and all over the place, but there's things that I've learned along the way that have really resonated, and I took it on as my truth, because I felt like at a soul level that this resonates, this makes sense to me, this thought, this belief, this idea feels like home, like it feels really good in my body. That's what I mean when I say it resonates. It feels really good in my body. And so there's been thoughts, ideas, beliefs that I've taken on as my truth because it resonates. And these thoughts, ideas, beliefs, sometimes I've gotten lost along the way. I've gotten a little lost along my path. I've taken some detours. I've stopped listening to the God spark within me, which I call my higher self. It's my divine guidance, okay? So, and I only hear it when I slow down. If I stay busy and I stay distracted, I don't hear it. Because I'm busy in the doing, because my brain is on other things, because I'm focused on this task and then that task and then that task. But when I actually slow down and I just sit and I'm just being, I'm not doing anything, I'm not even choosing to think necessarily about anything. I'm literally just breathing and being. That's when higher self talks to me. That's when I can hear it. I can hear it. That's when I'm guided to, let's say, get out of bed and go for a walk, and I do it, and I end up coming across maybe an earth angel, somebody that just is super kind and has beautiful energy and kind of lifts my spirits a little bit. Or, I come across, like yesterday, I followed this calling to come and sit by the pond after being inside all day. And I ended up seeing a blue heron that just stood across the pond and stared at me for a while. That's what I mean. Like, I will get like a calling kind of, I guess, inside my head to go, to do something, right? But yeah, I find when I listen to it, when I listen to that calm nudge on what's next, I'm never led wrong. I'm always blown away by the gifts that are presented to me by following it. But as I was saying, along my journey, I have gotten kind of gone off the path of listening to that divine spark within me, my higher self. And I've chosen to just do things my way because I'm a very stubborn human, and I have been a very stubborn human. I still am to some extent. But I just wanted to do things my way. And sometimes higher self doesn't really have the most fun, nudges. I really didn't want to go for a walk today. I was really feeling like I just wanted to lay in bed. But it was like that nudge, like, you have to get out of the house. Please go for a walk, And it's not necessarily even words in my head. It's just like I can't even describe it. It's just a feeling, even. Less words and just more feeling. And I think that's the key to really connecting with the God spark within you, connecting with your higher self, your guides, is really just slowing down to the point of where you're probably going to be really uncomfortable if you're not used to doing it. And even if you are used to slowing down, you'll probably still have moments where you're really uncomfortable and you're in your head about all the things you have to do or you should be doing. But if you really just slow down and work through whatever comes up, whatever emotions come up, whatever self-talk or stories come up in your head, and you start listening to that nudge, to that inner knowing of what's next, you'll never be led astray. Again, it's not always fun to listen to the nudge. Often I find actually it goes against what my human self really wants, what my human self is craving. But I'm never led astray when I listen to it. I'm never disappointed when I listen to it. I try really hard not to have regrets. But if I were to have regrets in life, those regrets come after I've chosen to listen to another human instead of tapping into that inner knowing, instead of listening to that voice within me, that calling, that nudge. And a simple way to get used to doing this, to practicing this, is listening to your body. So I used to hold my pee a lot. I'd be busy doing, and I'd feel the urge to pee, but I'd be just one more thing, or I just got to finish these dishes, or whatever, right? And essentially, I was a slave to whatever I was doing. And I would just ignore my body's natural response telling me, like, go take care of yourself. You need to release. And it's just such a simple thing, but that's literally how it started for me, listening to my inner calling, my inner voice, that nudge, that God spark, that your higher self, my higher self. It literally started that simply. Just every time I had to pee, I would drop whatever I was doing and I would go. And then it became, over time, it was just more and more and more listening to my voice or listening to my body. I feel like, see, again, I got squirrely on that point. We learn things sometimes in life, and then we have moments where we like detour on our life path and we stop listening to that inner knowing, our intuition, our gut instinct, whatever you want to call it. And we get a little sidetracked. And we forget some of the key things that we learned that really helped us along our journey. And so I share this with you because this is a remembering for me. Is something I learned many years ago, and I'm remembering it again. I kind of lost sight of this key point for a while there, and I allowed my human self, my ego, my shadow, to really take the wheel and to kind of run my life. And that leads to a lot of heartache and a lot of disappointment and a lot of fight and a lot of struggle and a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. When we consciously choose to slow down, we are able to, for one, give our bodies a rest, give our bodies what they need. For two, really actually be able to tune in and listen to what the body is asking for. And we're better able to open our hearts and receive that divine guidance, receive the little nudges, the little callings of what's next. So if you find yourself in a state of constantly in the doing, I get it. I used to be a really big doer. A lot of my worth was tied up in the doing of life, the constantly staying busy, the cleaning, the cooking, the baking, the making sure the kids were never bored, and just constantly doing. And I couldn't stop. It was like an addiction. Like I constantly had to be busy. And I realized that just because you're staying busy, it does not mean that you're truly living life. Just because you have a full schedule and you've got plans out the yin-yang, it does not mean that you're living a full life. We get so caught up in the doing that we forget to just be with what is, And I get it. I really, really, really get it. And I'm not at all judging anyone for what they choose. At all. I am so fucking human. I am so fucking flawed. But I'm learning to actually take the lessons I've learned and, for one, share them with others. For two, actually integrate these lessons. It's really hard to slow down, especially when you have a lot of inner turmoil, especially when you have a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, a lot of sadness. Actually, any deep feels really When we slow down, it gives our bodies a chance to express and let us know what's underneath the surface. And for a lot of people, that can be really scary. Believe me, I understand. But if we never give ourselves a chance to just be, to just slow down, to literally sit without any distractions and just connect to our breath and feel into our bodies, I feel that we're just doing ourselves such a great disservice. So I hope that made sense. I know I was a little all over the place. Thank you for receiving my message and for being with me in my squirrely brain. Yeah, I just wanted to share a little thought with you guys. So it's actually a really big thought. It's very, it's really profound how impactful it can be in a human's life to literally do nothing. So this is me inviting you to literally do nothing. Maybe you do it for 5 minutes. Maybe you do it for 2 minutes. But just try it and see. Just see what comes up. Truly do nothing except breathe and just be. And if you feel like sharing your experience, if you do try this, let me know how it goes. Yeah, sending you all love and light.